And welcome back to This Is Who Would Win. Now, a user, YouTube commenter person, the suggestion was from someone known as GoldenEye, suggested a Wonder Woman versus Thor video, and I thought about doing a Wonder Woman one, and I just didn't figure out who I wanted to use to fight Wonder Woman, because obviously her movie's coming out, so give her a due. And when he suggested Wonder Woman versus Thor, I'm like, That's an interesting one. It didn't occur to me to try that. They're both children of the gods in some sense. In terms of Wonder Woman, she had the blessing of gods. In Thor's case, yeah, she is the son of a god, and technically is a god himself. So this is going to be a really close one, but breaking it down. Honestly, their height and weight doesn't matter when it comes to honestly who they fighting, because they've fought individuals way out their weight class and all that stuff. Wonder Woman, she's very determined, strong, very dedicated, never gives up or never surrenders, will go into war and battle even if she's outmatched or knows she will die. She has superhuman strength on par with Superman. She has speed on par with the Flash at base cruising speed. She's not Flash true speed, but she has reflexes better than Superman, durable enough to survive. And I wrote down a couple of these feats. She withstood 3 infinite mass punches from Zoom, who hits harder than Superman, which, by the way, an infinite mass punch is enough to destroy a plane. She survived 3 of those and kept ticking pretty fine. Withstood Sky Father level attacks. Her durability is honestly off the charts. But if she is hurt, she has a healing factor which can heal minor wounds in seconds to minutes, and more serious wounds within probably minutes to hours. She's withstood punches from Superman and Shazam. 1 second here. What did I write? She has high magical resistance. Flight. She's fast enough to keep up, as I said, with the Flash. Has better reflexes than Superman. Animal empathy, which would not matter. Hunter's eye, meaning she always hits her mark. She's a master at armed and unarmed combat, including with a bow, arrow, spear, sword, shield, the whole shebang. Master technician and master strategist. Her bracelets were formed from Zeus's, and I might mispronounce this word, Aegis. I don't remember what an Aegis actually is, but point being, they were forged literally from the Aegis of Zeus. They are, for all intent and purposes, indestructible. Bar none, nothing changes from that. Now they are not only are they indestructible, but they are capable of chaining Zeus's lightning when they are struck. When they're crossed, they create basically an indestructible barrier, and they are all around just some of the most powerful, probably the most durable items that heroes have ever wielded. Because as far as we know, they are 100% indestructible. Like literally, I don't think anything has destroyed them. Her lasso just as cannot be cut or ripped or torn. It is also, for all intent and purposes, indestructible. But I feel as though there might be some things around that. Capable of making people tell the truth, erasing memories, and overall good for lassoing. Her tiara also has a razor edge, so it's good for cutting through most substances. She has, like I said, she has withstood 3 infinite mass punches, and these are just some of them. I went with the highest feats so we could get an idea of these guys. With the 3 infinite mass punches, more or less in a row, or like within seconds to minutes of each other. Her bracelets literally deflected the entire power of the entire Greek pantheon of gods. Now, she is still vulnerable to piercing weapons. She can still be stabbed, cut, whatever. And while she's very highly resistant to blunt force trauma, enough blunt force trauma will hurt her. It's implied, though, that only God-made weapons or God-forged weapons can hurt her. But that hasn't been proven yet. Thor, Odin's son. Now, with Thor... No, should I also mention... Now, it should make note that with Wonder Woman, she's received the blessings of these gods. So she's magically endowed, or imbued. Her lasso is magically imbued. Her bracelets are made from a divine Aegis. They're made from Zeus's Aegis. So they are divine in nature. They are magical in nature. her abilities, while even with a powerless, she's still peak human condition, all that because of Amazonian training. A lot of her strength does come from from divine magic and blessings and things along those lines, enchantments, if you will. Thor, Odin's son. Now with Thor, we know right now he's currently unworthy. Thor. With Thor, we are looking at Thor with Mjolnir, so we're going with that. Thor. Now Thor is the god of thunder, and he's also the god of war too. So he's master in Asgard. He's master of boxing, hand-to-hand combat, wrestling, or Greek wrestling. Just warfare in general. He's got the durability of a half god, half Asgardian, because his mother was it was Gaia, I believe. He has speed that normally he flies around the supersonic speeds, but he can also fly around. He can fly around with the help of Mjolnir around 2 times the speed of light. He is he's durable enough to survive gravity of a neutron star because he got thrown with a gravity bomb, which someone used that as an example in a video I did. I believe actually it's the Android 18 Miss Marvel prediction fight. Someone got into a nice little debate with someone arguing how Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, and Whis can match up to some of the higher Marvel tier, and the other guy was giving examples of why they could not. I may or may not do a video giving my thoughts on that, because I was the one who spurred that topic of discussion, because I said that Goku, Beerus, Whis, and Vegeta are high enough tier that they can at least compete with some of the other Marvel characters. The different thing entirely. But he's strong enough to survive the gravity of a neutron star, which is, God knows, I can't remember how strong the gravity of a neutron star is right off the top of my head, but it is very powerful. Celestial blasts. He can survive energy blasts. He's on energy manipulation on par with the Silver Surfer, who is capable of disintegrating things at will. He can swing Mjolnir twice the speed of light. He has 100% weather control, especially with Mjolnir, so he can control all this lightning, thunder, rain, wind. Strong enough to lift the Midgard serpent, who wraps around the entire Earth. Destroyed a 1 million ton archway. I don't recall if it was that strong. He can destroy more or less any sort of adamantium, save for primary adamantium. That's the one adamantium he can't destroy outright, if not at all, just because of the way it's designed. What did I write here? Woods and I scribbled in whatever. He's effortlessly thrown a part of the core of a star, which again, massive strength right there. Durable enough to survive a doomsday bomb, which was designed to destroy gods, but it was a glancing blow. Celestial blasts, as I said, the gravity bomb. He can fly through stars. Super senses. He can sense things solar system like light years away. That his senses are that well fine-tuned. He can hear like cries on distant planets. Healing factor. He can heal from most cuts and scrapes within seconds to minutes. He can heal a broken wrist within an hour or so. The only thing he can't heal is severed limbs. And again, we're not using him. Apparently, he lost his arm at one point recently, or at some point, and now he has one made of black. We're not using that. He is super breath, which can cause hurricanes, energy manipulation, and electrokinesis. He is capable of his own energy manipulation and electrokinesis, not just with Mjolnir. Mjolnir is made from Uru, which is a highly durable material, not the most durable in the Marvel Universe, but when it's it's very good at channeling magic, I guess was what I was trying to get at. It's capable of the God Blast, which is on a blast strong enough to kill immortals. Anti-Force Blast, which was strong enough to destroy a planet. Energy sensing, which it can actually detect things like demonic energy, mystical energy, thermal energy, all that kind of stuff. It's also capable of a thermal explosion, which is interesting, strong enough to basically defeat enemies like the likes of Ego the Living Planet, who is no pushover. Energy absorption, which allows him to just absorb and redirect. It's So strong that while with Wonder Woman, she was able to block the entire Greek pantheon with her bracelets. Now, with Thor, he didn't block it, but he absorbed a portion, mind you, of all the god pantheons. Now I'm gonna stop right there because we got to put that in perspective right now, and I'm gonna do this one a little bit differently, like talking about like one has over the other, before we get into the actual fight. In terms of the overall feat, the pure deflection of it was more impressive than the absorption because she completely deflected the blast. However, there needs to be a clear distinction between these feats. Because while I do think the deflection, like complete avoidance of the power, is better, that's one pantheon of gods. There are multiple pantheons of gods. If we're talking about all the god pantheons, and if we're assuming that all the god pantheon gods, mind you, so like all the different cultures who have multiple gods. If we're to assume, and I'm just throwing out, I don't know how many pantheons were involved in this, but we're assuming it involves all of them. That means you're involving the Greek pantheon, the Egyptian pantheon, the Japanese pantheon, the Norse pantheon, I know there's another one, the Indian pantheon, and those are there might be I don't know if the Mayans have an actual pantheon themselves. I know like Quetzalcoatl's a god. I'm going to go with just those. So he absorbed a portion. Let's say, I don't know what the portion was, but if he absorbed a quarter of those gods' pantheons, that means that means the entire god pantheon, he absorbed a full-on quarter of all those pantheons. Now, I'm reaching a little bit because I don't know how many pantheons were involved with that feat. But if we were to go with just those 5 pantheons, which involved a dozen gods at least for each pantheon, then while fully deflecting a blow is more impressive, the fact that he was able to absorb at least a portion of all that energy is equal in some sense. But I know I'm sounding I'm a bit contradictory, but yes, Wonder Woman's is overall the greater feat, is overall the more effective feat. I guess that's a better way to put it. It's the more effective feat in terms of a fight, but Thor's, I would argue, is the more impressive feat because of how many gods were involved in that. I should also know with Wonder Woman's bracelets, they can deflect things like Darkseid's Omega Beams, which are designed to, destroy, incinerate, whatever. They're designed to do whatever, and then she can deflect those. But anyway, Mjolnir is also capable of using the alpha particle, which can, disintegrate an opponent's weaponry, negate mystical energies, create barriers that are nigh indestructible as well. Thermal explosion, I said, strong enough to knock out Eagle. But Thor's a little cocky. He's thousands of years old. I believe I don't know how old Wonder Woman actually is. I know she's older than she looks, but she's not thousands of years old. At least not in most modern interpretations. So Thor's has years of combat experience over that fighting in thousands of years worth of wars. Don't get me wrong. Wonder Woman has gone up against Ares, the god of war himself, in his own realm, and didn't necessarily beat him, but she's able to survive. But apparently she is strong enough to, she was apparently designed to take on the god of war, who is, who beats the living hell out of people like Superman and stuff because of, magic and stuff, things along those lines. But no, this is a very tough one. And the issue is both these characters are really comparable to each other. Because if you were to honestly ask me who would win in a fight between like someone like Superman and Thor, I mean, I have to do the research, but I would just give a flat-out answer right now. I'd argue it's Thor. Thor has more combat experience, and he has actual magical abilities on his side that Superman can't do anything special against. So I give the edge to Thor in that. With Wonder Woman doesn't have that magical weakness. If anything, she has some magical resistance. She's not 100% impervious to magic. I mean, she's survived the lightning boots of Zeus himself, but I would argue there's some specific plot details behind that. So I mean, both these characters have immense durability, immense strength, immense combat experience. They're both highly skilled. It's going to come down to their specific abilities unique to them. Because honestly, let's just get into the fight, because I'm going to explain where I think where the victory is going to come out in this. Because there was like one real key piece of information when I was looking this up that tipped it slightly. But I'm going to tell you right now, this fight, no matter what, is going to be about a 45 to 55. The winner is only getting the very slight edge. So the fight's going to break down. So let's say Thor is blasted, not just from the Marvel Universe, but he's blasted from Asgard for some reason, from some attack, but he's blasted into the DC Universe, and he lands with Themyscira, where Wonder Woman just happens to be at this point in time. She sees this. Now, this is at the point where men can kind of be allowed, like Batman and Superman are allowed to be on Themyscira because they're awesome, whatever. But, this is a stranger. It's like, good woman, where am I? I must be like, you are on Themyscira, home of the Amazons. And it's like, blah, 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 and then they're going to have a conversation. We're going to have a conversation. It's not going to go really well, and then woman's like, it's like, I must get back. It's like, yes, you will leave. It's like, no, I need your help, and all that stuff. Amazons, I need your help. Something along those lines. Similar to Valkyries, he thinks. So something happens. Wonder Woman probably gets a little insulted or something like that. So, all of a sudden she takes off her whatever she's wearing to reveal her armor. It's like she maybe has a sword and a shield and a lasso on call. So it's like leave now or fight. It's like, I do not wish to fight you, woman, but I must do what is necessary. With Mjolnir, right off the bat, with Mjolnir, he's able to sense that she has mystical abilities, or she is divinely, godly enchanted, similar to him, but in a different sense. Like this, it's like, I sense great power with you, the power of the gods, but they're not the gods I know, gods I am not familiar with. That being said, I should also note that they have both fought Hercules in their own respective universes, and she's beaten Hercules and said to be stronger and more fierce than Hercules. He's fought on par with Hercules, but you can't make that comparison really, because they're two different interpretations of the character. So it's basically, if I will not do not wish to fight, but if I must, I must. How about 30? Summons the lightning bolt. Lightning bolt comes down. Woman just takes it, just blocks it. Just like, what magic is this? Yeah! Sword comes in, blocks with Mjolnir. He blocks with Mjolnir. There's a shockwave, and they go into combat. Now, in terms of pure physical combat, like hand-to-hand combat, they are on par. They're both trained. They're not sure, trained in every martial art known to man, but they're both trained in a couple different martial arts or fighting styles. And they both have years of combat experience. Thor has more combat experience from being older, but they're relatively on par, because she is just as fierce, if not maybe even fiercer in fight than Thor is. Neither of these characters would back down from fight either. So it's going to be just ding, 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 ding. He atomizes her sword and shield at some point using the alpha particle. Just spins, then ping, knocks her right in the judge. So now with Mjolnir is a tough son of a bitch. But she does have mystical, magical resistance, which Mjolnir is very much a magical item, and she's much better at tanking blunt force blows, just club blow, like blunt force trauma, than she is at piercing weapons. So it's still gonna hurt. Don't get me wrong, it's gonna hurt, because a weapon like that is. Superman is able to wield Mjolnir and things along those lines in certain crossovers. I think Wonder Woman might even be able to. I don't know. I don't know if Wonder Woman's ever wielded it. No, I'm not going to look it up right now. That's something I probably should have looked up beforehand. So if you want to get on my case, like, yeah, she can only use Mjolnir. It's like, well, sorry, I forgot that, or didn't look it up. That being said, most of these heroes, like Superman, can't lift Mjolnir, and I'm going off tangent, can't lift Mjolnir, except in certain circumstances. Most individuals cannot lift Mjolnir who aren't Thor, unless it's very specific circumstances. I know there's like a whole bunch of like requirements. There's not just one requirement. There's a few requirements to be worthy to lift Mjolnir. But I go. She takes an uppercut. She goes flying. Thor uses an energy blast from his hand, an actual energy blast, or augments it with Mjolnir. Just blasts her again. She's able to come out of that, blocks it, blocks her abrasive, or crosses, and the shield comes up and is like, what's this? And then creates his own energy shield, and two indestructible forces come, and they collide, and they kind of just rebound off each other. So now they're both in the air, and Wonder Woman's got her lasso, it's like, it's just Thor throws her, she grabs the lasso, just swings it. Remember, it's not in the air at the moment. It's not on the ground, so she could theoretically move this thing, just throws it back at Thor, trying to catch him off guard. However, it's in his command, so it's just boom. It's like, you will have to do better than that. And so the fight continues, and they're gonna keep going at it. She's gonna try and maybe lasso him up, but he's gonna be able to not break the lasso, but break out of the lasso. That's not something he'd have a big issue with, or it's just grabs it, smack, just clocks her. It's gonna be a long out brawl for a while. And Wonder Woman she will not give in. And Thor's just now. Granted, both these individuals they're demigods to god level, so they're not going to fatigue even against themselves. At least even against comparable opponents, at least not that quickly. So the fight's gonna keep going on. Thor's gonna get tired of this, so he's gonna go for, it's like, you've leave me no choice. And I don't know if it's actually he calls it out, but it's an anti-force blast, and just blast her. She goes boom, and then just boom down to the ground, because it doesn't blow up the planet, because she takes the full brunt of the blast. And it's like, he goes down, it's like, oh, it is over. It's like, yeah. And then all of a sudden hears the yeah. It's like, what's this? Just kidding. All of a sudden, she's grabbing her sword that probably was like lying around somewhere. It's like, yeah, she's hurt, but she's taken planetary destroying blasts before, so it's not like a planet busting blast would kill her or defeat her. Hurt her, yes, but that's different. That's still And sometimes she comes like, yeah, and then throws her tiara. It's like, oh, what is there? Then it's like, yeah. Now she's fighting mounting the offensive, and he's being thrown back. Like, your power is great, woman, but there's one thing you can't. It's like, there's one thing you cannot. I'm trying to figure out the line dialogue. You are a worthy warrior, one of the worthiest I have ever fought. But this ends now. Your power shall be taken from you. And this is where the victor comes out. She is not immune to magic. She is magically resistant. She's more or less a demigod. She's received divine blessings and things along those lines. Thor is an actual god. I mean, he's the son of Odin and Gaia, the Gaia, the Earth Mother, I believe. He is, for all intent and purposes, still a god of the thunder. Mjolnir is capable of disenchant. It's how he defeated the Juggernaut. He actually disenchanted the Ruby of Sidorak to basically get rid of his abilities for a short time and defeat the Juggernaut. I don't see Wonder Woman's abilities. I mean, she, again, magically resistant. Like, she's resistant to magical blasts and stuff like that. But to have her abilities taken away, she's been depowered before. So it's very possible to have her depowered again. And I think Mjolnir, being one of the strongest weapons in the Marvel Universe, I wouldn't say top 5, probably top 10. I feel that with the ability to disenchant and I want to be sure I did get, negate magical energies, he would be able to at least negate for a time the magical blessings, the divine blessings that the gods gave her. So all of her actual magical abilities, or like her divine blessings, would disappear. Now, she'd be a formidable warrior for any normal person, absolutely. But unfortunately, now she's an Amazon who, while a fierce warrior, has no mystical or physical mystical abilities at all. So now she has to go up against Thor, and she can't fly anywhere. She has to go against Thor, who hasn't lost any of his mystical abilities. And at that point, he just boom, knocks her out, and then that's the match. Now, that being said, and you know what? Give me 1 second while I'm here, and I already had the that opened. Can Wonder Woman lift Thor's hammer? If Wonder Woman can lift Thor's hammer, I've already believed that it's a 45 to 45 to 55 in favor of Thor right now. But Wonder Woman lift Thor's hammer. Okay. Has she? I guess that's the I guess that's the. I wonder when wielding Thor's hammer should have been really cool. This eases the Thor's nerves, after all. Calculate. Let me see if there's images, because I think she has. Yes, she has. Wonder Woman has, in fact, lifted Thor's hammer. But it's under a very certain amount of circumstances where she's lifted Thor's hammer. So they're... Because it's not like she can just catch it and wield it, kind of like Beta Ray Bill did. It was just... That was like a one-off thing. These are very set circumstances where these characters are capable of lifting Mjolnir. But that being said, I fully see a capability or a scenario where Wonder Woman just fully overpowers Thor. None of his real most powerful attacks can put her down, and he's running out of things. Right? He's got a massive life force, but if she either is found worthy of holding Mjolnir or is just able to eventually beat him down to the standstill, then Wonder Woman will win. But because of Mjolnir's ability to negate magical abilities, it just barely gave the edge to Thor in this match, and I say that barely, like it was this close. But yeah, I'd say 55% of the time Thor wins, but Wonder Woman comes in very close. But anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win? Star Wars, superhero, magic, what ifs? Who wins? Dragon Ball Z, anything I do on the channel, put in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do a review of it at some point. Be back tomorrow with Wonder Woman. I'll be back tomorrow with What If and Magic, which I'll pre-record for the day because I got to work. And I'll catch you guys later.